Hello everyone, and welcome back to Voxel Tales. My name is Dan, and we've arrived at episode 40 of this series. It'll not be long before I've been doing this for a whole year. There'll be some difficult decisions to be made then. Anyway, what say we crack on, eh? Over the past couple of days, our little robot buddy has been diligently going round and round in the lava train, and I'm happy to report that the lava tank is now full, and most importantly, considered infinite. It didn't even need to be as full as I thought, so I could lower it down a bit. So now I've reversed the pumps and installed a lock-off valve at the bottom, ready for when we need to direct the supply. But that's not today's job. Today, we're going to hopefully finish the inn. Because there's a space here that's missing a kitchen and public toilets, and we can't really open the place without a full set of amenities. With that in mind, I've put something together in the creative world that I think fits the bill, so let's go get the schematic drawn up. Okay, I should have one that I can reuse. It's still set up at the front of the inn, but hopefully I can write over it. If not, a blank one's just paper and a bit of dye. Right, let's give this a go. Pop that in there. Pick the right file. Nice, looks like we can reuse it. Saves me a job. Right then, team, let's go get this thing placed. I don't need anything else down here before we go, do I? I don't think so. I mean, I hardly come down here anymore for anything besides the waystone. Oh, right, this thing's knackered. Might as well take the chuffing thing out at this point. So, if it wasn't already completely obvious, I'm going to use the schematic cannon to put this together for us. Then we can address the small matter of finding somebody to actually run the inn. I mean, I'm hardly qualified to run it, am I? I'm always running around doing stuff, I can't be a landlord. No, I'm just going to talk to Tom about it. There's got to be somebody in the village who can run an inn. In the meanwhile, we need to get it in position, and if I've set up the schematic properly, all I have to do is line up the back corner with the back corner of the bit that's already built. Like that. Oh, well, it's one block too high. Give me a sec to faff with it. Okay, I'm pretty sure that is in the right place. I mean, it looks right. So I guess all that's left to do is get this thing loaded into here, and grab the clipboard so we can get a parts list made up. Oh, you know, I bet it's still a list from last time. Give to me. Right then. As you can see, it's quite a long list of stuff, and it's going to take quite a while to get it all together. Well, not for you. For you, it'll be one of those spin transitions and I'll have everything ready. So I better get on with it, hadn't I? Bosh! I'm back, and I've got the lot. Look at that! Didn't end up taking as long as I thought it would thanks to the storage system and quick crafting. God knows why the inventory on these diamond chests have gone out of alignment. Suppose it doesn't really matter, they still work at the end of the day. Any road, not the issue right now, so let's grab some gunpowder and get this cannon cooking. Nope, not that one. There we go. I'll just check the settings again. I think it's replace solid with solid I need. It is going to have to swap some of the blocks that are already there, so that sounds right. Well, here goes nothing. Hi, Future Dan here. At this point I briefly paused the cannon so I could start replay mod recording and capture footage for what was supposed to be a time-lapse. See, it says right there, replay mod recording started. Then I started the cannon back up and, well, basically stood around for a bit. After a while, I went and stood on a rooftop to get a better vantage point. For myself, obviously. Not for you. You were going to have a proper time-lapse to watch with music and camera angles. So why am I telling you all this rather than simply showing you said time-lapse? Well, to answer that question, it's probably easiest to flash forward a little bit and hand you back to past me. I'm sure that all will become clear. Hang on a sec. I could have sworn I left a block space between that window and the wall. That wall looks right, though. Maybe I'm just imagining things. It definitely looked like it was lined up properly. You know what, I can just check the kitchen, and if that's lined up, then it's fine. Oh, no! There's a whole chunk missing! But then why is that wall still the same? I mean, it's good that it's not ruined, but shouldn't it have replaced it with, like, half a kitchen? Regardless, I better stop it before it does end up wrecking something. Cannon! Stop! It's all gone wrong! Alright, So, this isn't as bad as it seems. For the most part, everything is built properly. We just need to move it one block over like we did with the warehouse. Reposition the schematic, and then let it finish. Yeah, this'll be fine. I can fix this. And there. That should all be glued. Right, just grab the piston and we should be good to go. Whew. Okay everyone, we're ready. Alright, locked on, one crank to the left and we'll be back in business. Uh-oh, that's not good. No, it definitely was not good. The game crashed, like, shut the game down and then wouldn't let me back into the world levels have crashed. Thankfully, after a lot of trial and error and troubleshooting... Alright everybody, crisis averted. I managed to get us back into the world. I even got us back in after everything was moved. So it's all one block to the left now. Funnily enough though, not everything moved. These spice racks and fridges, for instance, just stayed put. And I think we just got lucky with this bit of wall. Yeah, you see, it's on the other side of this wooden pillar. One block further over and we'd have taken out half the bar. Right, so what I'm going to do is tidy up a bit and then let the cannon finish putting the roof on. Then we'll have a better idea of where we're at. Okay? Okay. Future Dan here again. At this point, I wanted to make a time-lapse out of the replay mod recording that actually did record this time. However, when I went to make the time-lapse, I found out that it had corrupted itself in quite entertaining fashion. So join me in the first ever episode of Go Home Replay Mod, You're Drunk. Starting with this tree that's now made of superconductor cable from the Tech Reborn mod. Next we have these illuminated beds that are supposed to be fluorescent lights and the ceiling blocks that are now made of moss-covered brick walls. The diamond chest the cannon is pulling from has become this particle-emitting green liquid. And naturally I intended for the windows to be made of vinery grapevine pots and not, glass. Oh yeah, the roof is now, well, whatever this is supposed to be. Here we see the quadricopter has morphed into a busted-up dirigible. And the pièce de résistance, my fancy new barn constructed of finest Certus quartz walls. But we shall end off this little cutaway with the cemetery that now looks like it escaped from an episode of Miami Vice. Anyway, back to past Dan. And done. This thing's got a pretty good little ding, Everything's better with a little ding. Imagine how much nicer microwaves would be if they finished with a little ding and not an ear-splitting beep.
Are you having a stroke? Do I need to call someone?
Sorry, miles away. Right, I can already see that some bits haven't printed properly. No surprise really, everything's a shambles this week. So let's get to fixing it all. First, it looks like we somehow ran out of copycat bytes, so the chimney's not finished. And apparently I'm just fresh out of them. Lucky for me, I've got a load of zinc on hand, so let's tidy up my inventory and make some more. Nice. That's one thing down, and this one can stay lit because the kitchen will pretty much always be open. Next I need to fix this wonky roof tile. My roofing hammer will fix that right up. Boop. Done. And why has it not put the slabs in here? Or replaced all these beams with roof tiles? What's the point of telling it to replace blocks if it's not going to even bother? Well, no use moaning about it, I suppose. Just gotta get it fixed. And bop. Done. Perfect. And just in time for the sun to be going down. Impeccable timing as always, Mr. Dan. And now the outside is up to snuff, we can get the interior done in the morning. The next morning I headed inside and immediately installed some lighting in the back hallway. Then turned my attention to the kitchen. Oh yeah, I forgot about these floating spice racks. Down you come. There we go, much better. So the big question is what happened to the rest of the kitchen? Like, I know that I put everything the list asked for in that chest, and yet I'm missing all of one side. Hang on a minute. To confirm a gut feeling I'd just had, I reloaded the building schematic and set it back down on top of the finished build. Well, at least the rest of the kitchen is actually part of the schematic, but I know for a fact it didn't ask me to make those tool racks, or the toaster, and I have to assume anything else from this whole area of the kitchen. Good. Right, how many cupboards do I need? More than a little bit disgruntled with how this whole project was turning out, I set to work gathering up all the missing kitchen accoutrements. And eventually, I had everything we needed to get this kitchen finished. Except for an uncorrupted replay mod file, because that would be asking far too much this week. Okay, so these are probably worth mentioning. They're heating unit upgrades for the ovens that let us heat them with stored energy, which I assume means I can run a power source to these at some point and not have to fill them with coal. Which is nice. Alright, that's got the kitchen fully in. Whoever takes on this place should have no trouble serving their clientele. Now I've just got to finish sorting the washrooms. So friends, allow me to show you the facilities. On the left here we have the gents, complete with sinks and cubicles, and the ever-popular urinal, or urinal, whatever floats your boat. Our cubicles have got full-length doors too, for that extra privacy you need when you're doing your business.
And because that's all you could have.
And because that's all I could have. Over here we have the ladies. I've not been in many in my life, but I'm reliably informed that they're the same as the gents, only without a stand-up weeing station. Now, currently the cubicles don't provide a lot of space for their occupants, because of how Minecraft works basically, but we have the Chisels and Bits mod, and I'm pretty sure we can correct that. So, back in a tick. Alright, much chisels and bitsing later, and we have some usable cubicles. All I've done is push these walls back to give a bit of much-needed arm room, so in the very least it'll be less claustrophobic. I've also removed a layer of the walls and covered them with the white smooth sandstone, so it looks a little less dungeony in here. Because before, the walls were these cobbled blocks, and it wasn't very inviting at all. I've done the same thing in the gent, so it's all consistent and matches. So yeah, the only other thing that I want to get done today is add in some mirrors. If I could use the Immersive Portals mod, we could have actual working mirrors, but there's some compatibility issues with the other mods that I have on the go, so we can't, sadly. So instead, we're going to go with an oldie but a goodie for our mirror making needs. And for that, I'll be requiring a loom. I'm also going to need a few bits, so Editor Dan, if you could do the honours. Thank you very much. Right, it's been a while since I've done this, but if I remember rightly, we go banner with white dye, and then one of these diagonal bars, then add light blue dye, with a gradient from the bottom, then back to white dye, and a gradient from the top, and lastly black dye, and a border frame. And there we go, fake mirror. Bosh. It's not perfect by any means, but it works. Right then, just gotta make 4 more. Beautiful. If only there was some way to disable the banner waving effect. Full disclosure, I did spend a while making this optical illusion mirror with immersive paintings and fake depth, but the version of the world I did that in suffered a catastrophic bug that was completely unsalvageable, and I'm a bit nervous to try again in case it happens again. Anyway everybody, that's going to be it for this one. With all the crashes and corruptions this week, not to mention the boot sector of my hard drive corrupting itself and costing me hours of troubleshooting to fix, I'm amazed this episode even happened at all. But as always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the show, then help us grow by subscribing and leaving us a cheeky like or a comment below. I've been Dan, this has been Voxel Tales, and until next time remember, be good. And if you can't be good, don't get caught. Bye guys.